Can people genuinely not distinguish your from your? Not to be a grammar Nazi, but it irks me to see this across different platforms. So that begs the question, can people genuinely not conjugate the English language? Or is it a meme in its own right? For all intensive purposes, I could care less. People often type what the words sound like without caring about grammar. For example, could have instead of could have. Conjugation is for verbs. You're and there are my biggest pet peeves. It's an easy typo to make. Like you making a typo with the word the X200B. So that begs the question, can people genuinely not conjugate TGE English language? Can people genuinely not distinguish your from your? Some probably can't. Most don't give a shit. They're there now, it'll all be alright. You know what happens with me? Autocorrect. You'd think it would be helpful. But no, it's just a pain. It doesn't even correct properly. Every single time. And honestly, it pissed me off that I stopped caring. Probably the same people who can't distinguish between its and its. Breath and breathe. And lose versus loose. OMG, I have had too many cases where I thought I had an elegant salient point that completely shut down some internet to realize an hour later swipe pick the wrong your or the wrong there and I missed it in the proofreading. So, yes, I know the difference. Yes, I care about making unintentional mistakes. No, I don't always use technology correctly. Fucking sue me. I think you're onto something. For your own sanity, I wouldn't look into it much more. Pretty much always a typo. Just like you made. IDK if I've ever met someone who legitimately doesn't know the difference. IDK why this gets people so angry. I can only imagine how terrible it would be without spellcheck. Christ. I dealt with some high schoolers not too long ago and they could have easily passed as being flat out illiterate. No hyperbole. Their spelling ability was absolutely garbage along with a lot of other stuff. I had always heard people peril clutching about how uneducated, poorly educated this younger generation was, but it was legit scary to see it in person. Fun fact: English native mistake only. You won't find someone who has had to learn English make any of these mistakes. I find it embarrassing and hate it when I see comment with 5k upvotes making some dumbass statement with wrong you're in it. I can't change the world, but I strongly dislike people not even seeing shame in that. It's not a typo. It's legitimate lack of understanding grammar by tons of people. TGE English language. Why did you type TGE instead of the? Was it simply a mistake? I don't understand it, so I am only guess. Man, they should have. Most people just don't care. I just saw a post claiming that half the country reads below a 6th grade level. I think knowing the difference might be too much for that lot. Native English speakers first learn the language by hearing adults around them speaking it. So eventually they will learn the different spellings based on meaning, but their primary knowledge of the word is how it sounds, and so it's an easy mental mistake to make to type the wrong spelling. I make this mistake often. The difference is I've developed a strong habit of proofreading my text before I send or post it, so I tend to catch it and correct it. Honestly, I know the difference, but when I'm typing on the phone, who cares if I slip up? You know what I'm trying to say. I might not fix the text mistake, but OBVS know the correct way. What about there? Or the new one loose? If you're going to be particular about the English language, it begs the question is also not the correct phrase to use here. Begging the question is a logical fallacy in which an argument's premise assumes the truth of its conclusion. E.g., God exists because it says so in the Bible, and the Bible is the Word of God. People often say it begs the question when they really mean it makes me wonder. I cannot tell you how many people do not know basic grammar that you learn in grade 2. Your, it's, too. It's a huge turnoff. I'm sorry, but if you are a grown person who says that grade 2 grammar doesn't matter, you are not a very intelligent being, and I just cannot relate to you at all. I am used to seeing people misuse your for your. But the real pinched fingers one is when they misuse your for your. Maybe they just don't care? IDK. They might have started off not knowing, but after a few hundred corrections, it's just them being stubborn. Ignorant people love to cling to looking uninformed. They are proud of it. Anyone else even pronounce them slightly differently? This also happens with their there and there. So bloody annoying watching grown-ass people who don't know basic English skills. They're some of the most common words. Oh, it's defiantly still a thing. I actually cringed while typing that out. A lot of people are dumb. They don't think when they speak or write. They just kind of say write whatever's in their mind and send it off. The odd typo. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean people who see an email with 3 questions and a statement, and will respond with something that maybe half answers one question. People are just dumb, to be honest. They don't care enough to learn for some reason. Even if you correct them every time, they somehow forget it instantly. Anytime I do this is always by accident. Who even cares really? IDC. They're really confused about it. Their grammar really does need work. There are not enough English teachers these days, it seems. Damn. A lot of you guys use autocorrect. Some people just don't care to make the distinction. After all, they're writing a comment on social media, not a dissertation for their philosophy class. You're experiencing a linguistic merging as we continue to phase out contractions in. Say, AAAVE has already dropped your completely. There is a name for when contractions get dropped. I'll Google it. Edited copula drop, there it is. Say is experiencing a copula drop. IMA is already being shortened to IMA. So say is changing. Some can't, most just don't give a shit. Is there any way to tell if they're ignorant or if you're judging them too harshly? I think your judgment is a little harsh. Seriously. My autocorrect likes to make you're into your and they and they're into their. It's because no one cares and it conveys the same message with less typing. Incorrect choice of one homophone for another irritates me. I'm also irritated when people misapply begs the question. It's a rhetorical trick, and doesn't mean the same as prompts the question. I'm irritated again when people misidentify the aspect of grammar they are criticizing. This issue is unrelated to conjugation. Your parting question also irritates me. But I don't want to expend the effort to explain why, when I know it won't matter. The public school system is bullcrap. Lack of care, meaning is clear, specific words unimportant. If you know what they mean, then it's good enough. School may call language an art, but it's not. It's a tool. Who gives a shit if someone's autocorrect guesses the wrong word? Many also cannot distinguish between to, affect, there, literally, figuratively. Because people don't care. It's not an essay. It's not a book. It's social fucking media. It doesn't need to be correct because anyone with an IQ over 12 knows what you're talking about. This is what irks you. You're right, I can't, and you better keep your dang mouth shut about it.